Hello, my name is Chris Curry. Together with my wife Jill and fellow pastor Lorna, we minister to the Durban congregation in South Africa. This is the story of my ministry trip to Mozambique, undertaken at the beginning of this year. I travelled with Tim Maguire, GCI Mission Developer for Southern Africa. The purpose of the trip was to visit and minister to as many new GCI congregations in northern Mozambique as was possible in a limited amount of time. On January the 1st, I travelled from Durban to meet with Tim in Johannesburg. We left early the next morning to make the 2-day journey to Mozambique. We travelled through Zimbabwe to the border town of Mutare, where we stayed the night with GCI pastor Emerson Goya and his wife. The next day, we crossed the border into Mozambique. Seen here are Tim and I enjoying lunch along the way. We travelled through the town of Shimoya and on to Morumbala. On the outskirts of this town is the little village of Frakeza, which serves as the headquarters of the church in Mozambique. On our arrival, we were warmly met by Pastor Mariano Binzi, the national leader of GCI in Mozambique, and Pastor Manuel Zasco, the national secretary. They both live in the village of Frakeza. This was home under the mango tree. Tim in conversation with Pastors Mariana and Manuel. Villagers singing praises after having received some clothes. This is so typical of Tim. Give him a snake or a creepy crawly and he is in his element. Here, he interacts with the village children who found and brought him a chameleon. Seen here is a typical church congregation. What is amazing is that every congregation we visited had a dedicated church building made of mud and reeds, built by the villagers. Inside the little churches are wooden benches for seating, tiny windows, and a raised platform in the front for ministry. This church had the name Grace Communion International painted on the side of the building. Worship in every congregation was very enthusiastic and always accompanied with drums, dancing, clapping, and much song. Often the young men and women of the village would perform a worship song and dance. There are some 100 GCI congregations in Mozambique. Over a 5-day period, we were able to visit about 25 churches. Every church is led by a pastor and his wife and a team of administrators. They might be secretaries, heads of women's ministries, choir leaders, and financial officers. As it was the rainy season, travel between villages could be very challenging. Often we were bogged down in mud. At times it took hours to travel a few short kilometers. There were always willing hands to help dig and push, but at times we needed help from a higher power. In this scene, Tim is praying before we tried once more to push the car out of the bog. On one particular day, we had to walk about 5 kilometers and be ferried across a river in a dugout canoe to reach the church. In this scene, Pastor Mariana is addressing the congregation. Pastor Manuel was our guide and interpreter. At times we had to have a double translation so that all members of the congregation could be reached with the message.
His plan was to sacrifice his son Jesus to redeem us and to wash clean our sins.
Ife tsawerenga buku kubukira ku chipangano cha kaleni kokutoma kulonga kuti ndikufuna kwa Mulungu kuchita nsembe peno kupereka mwana wachi kuti akhale nsembe tewera kuti ife tulekerere machimo athu.
Tiyeno werenga buku lo Roma kuongara letu kwa Yesu Kristu nikwela ira yo machimo akuru mwenwe.
Because more than anything else, God wants to have.
I want to tell you a short story about what God is like.
Iwasafuna kupangeni historia ibodzi iri ninga pinatipangiza Mulungu ali.
This is a story that we read in the Bible.
Eno ndiyo historia na werengefe malemba.
There was once a rich man,
Kudali mamuna mbozi wa mfuma.
and he had a son.
Iye dali na ana.
And the son said to his father,
Mbwenye mwana renda kampanga pai wache.
I don't want to wait until you die before I
Ine
get my inheritance.
pinakwanisika kuti ndikudikireni ate mufe kuti mungamamu ndigairemo mfumanu zanu.
It was also very gratifying to offer the communion sacraments by the tincture method. This involved dipping a broken wafer into a glass of grape juice and offering it to the members. This was necessary as glasses or cups for the wine were non-existent. In one village, Tim was able to rig a generator attached to a laptop and DVD player. We hung a sheet in the center of the village square and projected the Jesus movie of the Gospel of Luke, which had a translation into Portuguese. Seen here are some 200 villagers gathered on both sides of the screen to watch the movie. A few years ago, on another trip to Mozambique, Tim, with other members from South Africa, were able to show the villagers how to sink a well. In this image, Pastor Manuel is seen beside one of the wells. In the background is the partially constructed headquarters church. Some $10,000 is needed to complete the building and roof. In Mozambique, life is tough. The people have few physical possessions. Life is communal living, and they are all subsistence farmers who live off the land. But their love of God is tangible. They are rich in faith, humble and grateful. They are brothers and sisters in Christ, doing the work of God.